is at 27.5. And hips are at 37.
Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how I tried one of Chloe Ting's challenges, how I optimized my results, and what I thought of the challenge as a fitness instructor. So Chloe Ting, if you don't know who she is a YouTuber that has fitness videos and fitness challenges. She has 15.2 million subscribers as of the making of this video. The fitness challenges on her website vary from 2 weeks in length to 8 weeks in length. Some of them are more popular than others. The one that I chose to do is the one that I've seen the most on YouTube and on Instagram, and I believe it's her most popular, if not one of her most popular, and it's the 2019 2-week shred. I wanted to try one of these challenges because as a fitness instructor, you're always curious about what other people are doing and what people are gravitating towards and why. So this is something that I wanted to dive into, and I felt like the best way to understand that was to do one of these challenges myself. Another reason why I was motivated to try this challenge was because back in February, before the pandemic shut down the world, I had a virus, whether it was a flu or a pneumonia, it doesn't really matter now. I was left with symptoms of vertigo and reduced lung function that I've been dealing with now for about 8 months. For most of 2020 at this point, I haven't really felt like myself. I do still have quite a bit of energy, but naturally I'm a very high energy person. So I felt like that was lacking a little bit. And as a result of these symptoms, I wasn't able to work out as often as I normally do and be as active as I normally am. And as a result, I did gain about 10 pounds throughout the pandemic. Now, this isn't about me gaining 10 pounds or needing to lose 10 pounds. I feel fine with the 10 pounds. I feel like I don't look bad. I still look good. I'm still well within my healthy weight range for my height, which is 5'4", by the way. However, I still just wasn't feeling like myself. Now, it's been just over a month now that I've been medicated for the vertigo and for the reduced lung function. And once I started taking that medication regularly, I feel like my brain started to wake up. Like it was less foggy. And so my brain got hyper again, but my body just wasn't matching it. That's something that was really making me upset, was that my brain was just like, move, move, move. And my body was like, no, no, no. And so I kind of want to retrain myself to move again. I need to get my body moving. I need to get my body used to regular activity again. And so I felt like why not? Just get this challenge done. Maybe it'll help. And I have to be honest, in the beginning, I took a little sneak peek at the workouts that I was going to have to do over the 2 weeks. And it's all familiar movements to me. And I was like, well, I could do this. This is going to be easy. But having not done most of this stuff for a long time just because I couldn't, it was a lot harder in the beginning than I expected. But by day 3, it was so much easier. So this challenge in particular is 14 days long. The workouts vary from, I think it's 25 minutes a day to 50 minutes a day. And in those 2 weeks, you only have 2 active rest days. Now, she doesn't specify anything for the active rest days. It just says active rest day. For each day that you're doing her workouts, there's between 2 and 4 exercise videos that you need to do. And this is kind of genius because she's getting way more views this way. So good for her. So what I noticed about this challenge is that the videos repeat themselves often. It's super, super repetitive. And I did see that some of her other challenges vary a little bit more, and I'm wondering if maybe that's because of the feedback she got for this one. However, one of the videos in this one has like 245 million views or something like that. So it's super repetitive, and a lot of the exercises from each video repeat themselves throughout the other videos. And so you're doing them quite often, which is okay, because if you're doing like any other kind of workout and you're doing sets, you are going to repeat the same exercises. But when you're doing it in this type of format, it can get old fast, especially when you're doing it every day. So I didn't necessarily think that the exercises within the workouts were bad. Mountain climbers, push-ups, burpees, curtsy lunges, reverse lunges. These are exercises that we know. These are exercises that we do. They're good body weight exercise. And so I liked that there was that familiarity. And I liked that every now and then you had something that was a little bit more creative. What I didn't like is that some of these exercises I would categorize as a dynamic warm-up, and I wouldn't necessarily make it part of a workout. I also liked that she was doing the workout at the same time, and I liked that she seemed to be putting in quite a bit of effort. Every now and then you see her make a face like it's difficult for her, which I think is relatable for a lot of people, especially beginners who are looking at this girl who seems to be in pretty great shape. What I didn't like was, I didn't like that there was so little time in between each exercise. Now, I'm guilty of this as well, and I'm sure a lot of other fitness YouTubers are. A lot of my videos, I only give the 10 seconds in between exercises as well. However, I don't say specifically, now take a rest and then we're doing this, because 10 seconds is not enough time to actually take a rest. 10 seconds is just enough time basically to transition from the one exercise to another. That's just a little peeve that I had, and that's actually not that big of a deal. I didn't like when there was only 5 seconds in between the exercises, because even she had a hard time getting from one position to the other in those 5 seconds and was starting those exercises a little bit later. I didn't like the formatting. So like I said, I thought some of the exercises were really good. I didn't like the way that they were put together. A lot of these exercises, a lot of the core exercises are back to back, and you're asking somebody who might not be that fit yet to keep their core engaged throughout multiple exercises. At a certain point, their core is going to give out no matter how hard they try to keep it engaged, and they're going to start overcompensating with other muscles if they absolutely refuse to just drop to the mat. As a result, they can end up with back pain, or they can just be doing it wrong and injure something else. Either way, they're not getting the full benefit from the exercise if you're not allowing enough rest in between for them to disengage and then re-engage after they've had enough rest time. Another type of exercise that was back-to-back quite often was plank position exercises, where she does spider lunges and crossbody mountain climbers back to back, and I feel like that's just something that a lot of people aren't going to be able to do. They're not going to be able to stay in that plank position for that long and keep proper alignment and keep proper form. Now, as a result of that and the reduced rest time, it's a lot harder for people to give 100% or to really push that hard throughout the entire video, which ultimately is what you want people to do. You want people to try really hard in these types of short workouts. So this challenge is called the 2-week shred challenge. So I'm assuming that that means that you're gonna lose weight, get shredded, and have abs, because one of the videos that you do every day is abs in 2 weeks. The only people that are gonna get abs in 2 weeks are the people who pretty much almost have abs already. We all already have abs. We all have these muscles. Some of us have bigger muscles than others. The only people whose abs you can see through their skin are the people who have less fat between the skin and the abs. So, to be able to see your abs, most people need to lose weight. They need to drop their body fat percentage. Genetically, I'm a little lucky in that area because I carry my weight in my lower half. So my upper body naturally has less fat on it. My abs show a little bit more easily than, say, somebody who carries their fat in their upper body. One of the other videos that you're doing every single day except for the active rest days is called Do This Every Day to Lose Weight, and I think it's about 12 minutes. And it's a HIIT workout, full body. And the only way for you to burn a significant amount of calories doing this workout is if you're pushing as hard as you absolutely can the whole way through. And even then, you're maybe burning off a banana. So that's something to consider, is that you need to be doing a little bit more than this to lose weight through exercise alone. On her website at the bottom of the workout plan, there's an FAQ section, and in there, one of the topics is, What can I do to get the results I want? And the answer is this depends entirely on what results you're looking for. In general, working out is just half the battle. You need to maintain a healthy lifestyle, including exercise and a mostly healthy diet. And that's so true. And that's kind of why I have an issue with this do this every day to lose weight video. Because you're not going to be burning that many calories in just over 10 minutes. And to lose weight, you need to be eating less calories than you're burning. It's so much easier to eat 100 calories than it is to lose 100 calories. And that's why food plays such an important role in weight loss. We tend to think that we're burning more calories than we're working out, and we tend to think that we're eating less calories than we are in a meal. So having a grasp of how many calories are in your foods and how many calories you burn in a workout is really important when one of your goals is to lose weight. Another topic in here is, what should I do after I finish the program? And the response is, it depends on your goals. Everyone's physique is different, and you may or may not see results you were expecting. It's 2 weeks after all. I recommend giving yourself 1 week off entirely after the program, as rest is important. I disagree with that. I don't think that anybody should need to take a week off entirely after doing this program. Maybe take a day or two of active rest. There's no need to sit down and do absolutely nothing at all unless you're injured. You can get up and go for a walk. You can do some stretches if your body is sore and you really feel like you need to. If you have goals that you are working towards, it's important to keep that momentum going and keep that motivation up. And taking a week off is a really easy way to lead to 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off, and then getting lost and not knowing where you're going or what your direction is. One of the other topics is any final tips. And she says, do not measure your progress based on the weights on your scale. It's not an accurate representation of your progress, and there's muscle gain, water weight, and other factors to consider. This is true. What I would recommend is taking progress photos, same angle, start of the day, same time, do it once a week. At the end of the program, look at your physical change and also how you feel. Feeling stronger, more confident, and happier makes a huge difference, blah, blah, blah. That's exactly true. I like to know the difference in weight from start to finish. And I agree with the progress photos. I don't think that looking at other people's progress photos, while it can be motivating, is always an accurate representation of what results can be for you, because there are ways to skew those before and after photos. And I'm not saying that anybody has posted inaccurate photos, but we have seen on Instagram many times now people posting before and after photos that were taken only seconds apart, where in the first photo they have worse lighting or worse clothing, or they're wearing their pants a little bit lower, they're taking the photo from a different angle, they're pushing out their belly, they're not posing, they're not tensing. And then a few seconds later, they take another photo where they've hiked up their pants a little bit, maybe they change the angle, they're tensing, they're sucking in their belly, and it looks like immediate results. Another type of progress that I like is taking measurements. So for this challenge in particular, I took my waist measurements and my hip measurements. There's a few things that I did to make sure that during this challenge I would be optimizing my own results. The first one was watching my calorie intake. So we've talked about calories in versus calories out. You want to eat less calories than you're burning to be able to lose weight. And one of my goals was to drop a little bit of weight. And so I kept my calories between 1,200 and 1,500 calories a day, which is quite low, but I am a small person. And one thing that I do consider is that if I'm starting to feel lightheaded or dizzy, or I don't have enough energy to actually get the workout done, I eat a little bit more. It's good in that way to give yourself a calorie range to make sure that if you do need a little bit more calories that day, you have room for it without feeling like you're blowing your diet completely, or without completely going overboard because you just stop counting after that. So the food that I did eat during the challenge, I made sure, because I was eating so few calories, that everything I was eating was pretty nutritious. In the morning, I was having just coffee, and I intermittent fasted, which I don't normally do, but I did for the sake of reducing my calories, eat between 12 and 8 p.m. So my first meal of the day was my lunch, and I love lunchtime. That's normally when I have my largest meal of the day anyway. And so that meal typically had quite a bit of protein in it, just so that I would feel satiated for a longer part of the day after that. And then following that, I typically had 1 or 2 snacks and a smaller meal. The next thing I did was made sure that I drank plenty of water throughout the day. At night, I made sure I got plenty of sleep. I wanted my body to feel fully recovered and my brain to feel fully recovered by the next day, so that I could mentally motivate myself and that I could push my body as hard as I could throughout each workout. I made sure to get at least 10,000 steps every day aside from these workouts. Doing these workouts alone is simply not enough. I know it seems, even on the days where it's 50 minutes for these videos, that would be enough work. But if all you're doing for the rest of the day is sitting down, it's absolutely not enough. You need to be moving around at least a little bit and stay active. I used these videos as a supplement to my regular routine, which includes filming videos for my channel, mostly yoga videos. I film Pilates videos as well. I did film a few workout videos, and I also go to martial arts class twice a week. Another way that I optimized my results was making sure that I was giving my maximum amount of effort for every workout. Now, that's rate of perceived exertion, and that's going to depend on how much energy that you have that day. So one day you can push really, really hard. It doesn't mean that the next day you're going to be able to push as hard if your body is really tired and you're sore. But you can still give the maximum amount of effort that your body is capable of doing for that day. And finally, I took advantage of the active rest days to do some things that I didn't want to do on the same days as these videos. During this challenge, there was the change of seasons, and so as a yogi, I did 108 sun salutations on the first active rest day. And on the second active rest day, I took advantage and filmed a little bit more than I normally would. Would I recommend this challenge to clients? Probably not. And there's a few reasons. I feel like if you're a very beginner, there aren't enough modifications given to keep them safe during these workouts. Again, there's the risk of injury, the way that some of the exercises are laid out, and I fear that the repetitiveness of the workouts every day and the exercises within each video would get them bored and lead to lack of motivation. I also think for someone who's more fit, this would get boring quite quickly. But did I get results? Yes. And let's talk about those results. So, when I started this challenge, I weighed 137.6 pounds. Now, I think it's important to mention that for women who are doing challenges like this, it's important to consider where you are in your cycle when you're starting and finishing this challenge. If it's the middle of your month and you're starting a challenge like this that's 2 weeks, and you know that at the end of the challenge you're going to be on your period, that's going to affect not only your photos, but your measurements as well, and how you feel at the end if you tend to bloat quite a bit. I started this challenge on day 4 of my period, so I was a little bit bloated. I was still carrying a little bit of extra weight, and my energy was still a little bit lower, but I knew that I would be finishing really, really strong. At the end of the challenge, I weighed 132 flat. So I lost 5.6 pounds over the 14 days, which is actually excellent. You want your expectations to be realistic here, and anything more than that would have likely been just water weight and weight that wasn't sustainable, weight that I would gain back with a bowl of pasta. As for my measurements, like I said, I measured my waist and my hips. On day 1, my waist measured 27.5 inches, and at the end of the challenge, my waist measured 26.25. So I lost 1.25 inches off my waist. My hips on day 1 measured 37 inches, and at the end of the challenge, 36. So I lost 1 inch off my hips, which is actually excellent. I'm very, very pleased with that. You'll notice in my before and afters, there doesn't seem to be too big of a difference, but there is a small difference, and after 2 weeks, that's what you can expect. I'm super pleased with how well I did and how hard I stuck to this despite being so over it after a few days. And you'll notice that I'm not tensing and I'm not posing in these photos. I'm just standing there in the same outfit so that I would really be able to see what my body looked like before and after. Now, obviously, if you wanted to post something to Instagram or make yourself look cuter or whatever, there are so many different ways to do that. I do think that this challenge set me up for continued success because now I'm motivated to do better. I'm motivated to do more, and I feel like my body has started to reawaken. However, I don't think that a challenge like this is necessarily sustainable. It's not something that I would want to do every day. I feel like doing these exercises 6 days a week left my joints feeling quite sore, and I'm just shy of my 36th birthday, so I'm not super young, but I'm not old either. And I was sore in my shoulders, I was sore in my joints, and it was getting to the point where it was unpleasant. And I really wanted to just pick up some weights. I wanted to do some yoga. I wanted to do something different. And this was just too much of the same thing every day, and I couldn't wait to be finished this challenge. And if that's how you're feeling about your fitness routine, you shouldn't be doing it. It's not sustainable. You have to find something that you enjoy so much you can picture yourself doing it for the rest of your life. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's another challenge that you want to see me try, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos.